Hey everybody, you're listening to my podcast Suchitra's Life, and I'm back with season 4. And in our very first episode, I'll be talking to Nethra, one of my dear friends who has got masters in biotechnology and a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. But she has done an interesting career transition of sorts during the pandemic by opening her own Instagram store called Arista and Me. And her products are so amazing that I had to drag her to my podcast and interview her about her journey. So let's get started. Hi Netra,
Hi, Suchitra.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too. And
And
yeah, so I'm like really excited to talk to you a lot about your business. And
yeah, same here. It's kind of a privilege, and I must say, doing my first podcast with you will go down in my memory lane.
oh, thank you. All right. So I wanted to start off by asking you what inspired you to start your own business and how did you come up with this idea?
Well, the truth is, I didn't have any idea of starting this business. One of my dear friend, who's now actually the host of this show, Suchitra, was my motivation.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, it's the truth because I initially started this as a hobby. When I was at home with my baby on a sabbatical, I didn't want to buy these expensive gifts for my son. I was a little creative on my end, so I wanted to create um, gifts and toys for him. So I started using my creativity, bought a sewing machine for myself, specifically to make some shape sorters for my son. And coincidentally, during that time, my cousin was pregnant, and I thought I should do something quite personal and give her baby a gift.
Hmm.
So I looked into YouTube and I saw a very interesting baby bed. I had never seen some design like that. It was a little unique.
Hmm.
So I went through the tutorial and I made a similar baby bed. It's a baby nest in
Yeah.
precisely. It's more of an oval shape, which you know um, symbolizes the womb of a mother.
Oh.
So that's how it is. The design of the baby nest is. It's oval in shape. It has this bolster all around it, makes the baby more warmer, cozier, and has a defined boundary for the baby. So this particular design intrigued me, and I made that for my cousin. And once I put it up on status, Suchitra saw my status and said, I want to order 2 bags from you. I said, no, I am not doing this as a business. She said, no, I want to place an order and I need it for my hubby. She is pregnant and one of her friend was pregnant as well. So she said, I need these two. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And there was my first order. It just happened instantly without any inhibition. I accepted because it was my friend who gave me this order for me, and that's how this business started.
Yeah.
So thanks to you.
Yes, I was your first customer.
Yes.
Also,
So
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so that happened in 2019, and slowly it picked up. And I started officially on Jan 2020 actually to build a brand for myself, and I gave the name Arista and Me, which is a Sanskrit meaning. It has a Sanskrit meaning, which means happiness, safety, and security.
Mm.
So I wanted something really personal, which defines my products. So that's how I named my brand, and I started fully functional from January 2020.
Well, there is another reason why I started Arista and Me. So, Once I finished delivering my first order to my dear friend Suchitra, I started drafting the product information for the baby nest. And while I was doing that, I sent my first draft to my husband. He read it and he said, "Wow, this is really nice. It really makes me feel that I want to quit my job and start off Arista and me with you." I mean, to hear that from a dear husband, it's an honor. And it really made me feel that, okay, this is what I need to do and I need to do it big. But unfortunately, 2 days after he mentioned that, I lost him. He passed away. And whatever he said still rings in my head. So, this Arista and me has become an integral part of me. I don't think I can ever let it go. So, this is my booster, this is my inspiration, and it's all I need to take Arista and me to a greater level.
I have met him. He was a very positive person. Yeah.
Your products are targeted towards like what type of customers? Like, is it like new mothers or like I see many products coming from your end. So, who are your ideal customers and how do you attract and try to retain them? Well, what I do is my USP is end-to-end customization. I have no ready products, so I initially interact with the parent uh, or grandparents, whoever want to buy a product for their child. I mainly interact with them, try to understand what their requirements are, and then I provide them solutions, provide them ideas, provide them my catalog, and then the conversation moves on from there. I make baby beds customized, quilted blankets, again customized in terms of, you can have a theme if they want a theme like a sailor's theme or a fairy tale theme. I create that for them. And even if they give me some Google screenshots, if I'm able to replicate it, I replicate and give them. So it's a highly personalized interaction with the parents. So this way, I am able to involve the people right from the beginning. So that's how I keep my customers because they are a part of the process and they know at every step of my progress what's happening, what kind of fabric I'm looking into, why am I choosing this fabric. So I give them a detailed explanation as to why because I had a very bad experience with baby beds for my son when he was born. The ready-made commercial products which were gifted to us, he ended up getting a lot of rashes. So that was one of the aspects why I got into beds in particular. And trust me, until now, I have absolutely no complaints from any of my customers. They are superly happy because I have multiple cotton layers before the polyfill literally is exposed. So I have 5 to 6 layers of cotton below which the polyfill stuffing will be there. So there's absolutely no way the baby will start getting sweaty because the cotton layers will absorb the sweat from the baby's back, and the baby's back is always, you know, um, not so what can I say? Sweaty, hot, or something like that. It keeps them a little warm, breathable, and the baby is comfortable. Otherwise, you get to know their discomfort. They'll start crying or they'll start, moving too much. So I have my customers who have called me in the middle of the night saying, Nethra, what have you done? I used to be so shocked because I have worked every hour to make products. And they said, "What have you done?" I was literally in tears at one moment because I had spent a month making that particular bed because he had so many criteria, so many specifications. He said, "My son had never slept 5 hours straight. For the first time, I put him on your bed and he slept for 5 hours and we hadn't put a diaper and he's not wetted the bed." So he also knows the value of the bed is what the customer had told me. And that was something that I can always recall to, and that's my motivator.
Mm. That's so amazing.
So that's how my customers are. And when these customers tell their friends and families, it's a trust value that comes into the picture, right? So they always come back to me on these aspects. And whenever they want to give gifts, they always connect with me. They give me ample amount of time because they know it's a one woman show, and they give me a lot of time to go through the entire process, make the product, because they know whatever they get from me is going to be durable and very true to its product and quality.
True. So, Netra, while starting up, or like you told that it just happened accidentally, but when you
Yeah.
did make up your mind that okay, this is something I want to give a shot at, so how did you like set up that base for the financial stuff, like to invest a little amount and everything? How did you manage that cash flow and
Yeah. So, well, initially I did not invest much. The only little investment I did maybe was about 10,000 for my raw materials. Like I said, I had already purchased my sewing machine because it was a hobby. So my sewing machine, which is a major chunk of an investment, was already with me. So I did not consider that as an investment for my business. What I invested was on raw materials, fabrics. I bought a lot of fabrics, kept it as a stock, and tried to keep getting in touch with my vendors, try to focus on cheaper, vendors, better quality, um, maybe eco-friendly. So I was looking into these aspects and trying to reduce my cost as well, because once you have a vendor and they know that I'm buying from them, my costs also reduced a little. That was in the long run, but initially, yeah, it was only about 10,000, which I invested, and I used that. And I rotated my expenses, my profits in and around the same thing. It was a little slow at the beginning, definitely, because it's a startup. And the only way I could connect with people was through friends, family, by word of mouth initially. So that's how it was a very low investment because I was doing it from home. And it started off in COVID time because, from March 2020, we had this COVID hit. So I couldn't go set up shop anywhere. So I started from my home. So that, again, it was an added advantage. I had least investment to put into my business. It helped me. And actually speaking, during COVID, when all the shops were closed, um, thankfully, I must thank how this entire process went through, because there were a lot of moms who were pregnant. They were not able to get new beds for their kids. And I was able to sell about 4 to 5 beds in a month at one shot. It just clicked so well. Uh, so that was very nice and profitable to me. And I must say, it just the timing was right, and it worked well both ways for the parents as well as for me.
yes. So also, Netra, how did you get connected to the vendor? So you're based out of Bangalore.
Yeah.
How did you go about that?
Yeah, so there were two things. One, I am raised in Bangalore, so I know in and around Bangalore a lot. So I have these few places where I know for sure I get good quality fabric or polyfill, the stuffing for the beds or anything, threads or, strings, anything. So I already had an idea. So I didn't have to do much groundwork to find out my market. That was quick. And the other one which I really had to put in and make an effort was Instagram.
Mm.
Instagram was another lifesaver for me. During COVID, we couldn't step out. There was a huge risk, and Instagram was the platform where I went into to connect with customers. Connect with vendors and get my raw materials. At first, I was very apprehensive because it's a platform where you need to pay upfront, and I don't know them. If it was Amazon, Flipkart, there is a method, there is a channel of your uh, money flow. You have a track of it.
Yeah.
But here on Instagram, you're directly dealing with them firsthand and you're paying it to their bank account. You don't have a trail of paperwork.
Yeah.
So I was really reluctant, but I had no choice. But trust me, the moment I dived into it, it was so good. The platform is much better than Amazon or Flipkart for me personally because I could connect with the vendors. I can ask questions, 100 million questions about the fabric, try to understand because they used to send me videos. I used to tell them, give me a closer view, crush the fabric, show me if it wrinkles, things like that. Take a piece of paper, rub it over the fabric, and I want to see if it leaches, if color runs off the fabric. So all these things I was able to do with the customers and then buy my products. So I knew whatever I'm buying is worth the money and it's worth for the my
Mm.
make my product.
That's
So Instagram was truly my lifesaver, and I still buy a lot of fabrics from Instagram even now, although the markets are open. But I have found really great market on Instagram, so I'm still sticking to Instagram.
that's great. So, what would be this one thing that you wish you had known before starting your business? Like anything that you've realized I should have known.
Yeah, one thing I wish is a little more marketing strategies. Being an engineer, I do not have a lot of skills on
Hmm.
publicizing or using the digital platform to market my products. So it took a lot of time. I had to take a lot of assistance to understand the algorithm in Instagram as well. So I used Instagram as another platform to sell my products. So it took a lot of time for me to understand how the algorithm work, what's hashtag, what are the type of hashtags that I need to use. It took a lot of time. If I had a little bit of marketing knowledge, it would have breezed for me. I would have been able to do a better job, like simultaneously market and do my sales as well as do stitching work. But marketing was a little slow for me, so which affected my sales in the return. So these aspects get linked to one another, and that was a little drawback. But now, after getting a hang of it, it is so much more easier
Okay.
holistically.
Yes. So, what has been your most successful marketing campaign? Oh.
Uh, well, I've just done two so far. One is via Instagram. Another one is I have used this approach of setting up stalls, pop-up stalls, and connect with people, a huge crowd. So for that, you really need to have a good inventory. So I worked on my inventory, and then I set up stalls.
Oh.
So that was a very positive outcome because I mean, I had a lot of people come on one day and check out my products, and the sales were shooting sky high, and that was really nice for me. So, if a person has inventory, try to have these pop-up stalls. It will help you. You will meet a lot of people. The platform will be great. You'll have interaction with so many people. You can just give out your cards. You'll never know when they'll get back. So there's a lot of connectivity. You will be selling, and you have a good interaction with a lot of people because interaction when you have a business is at most important. We cannot sit behind the screen, behind a mobile phone and expect sales to happen day in and day out
Yes.
in the same consistency. So we need to go out, meet people, and then get that up and running.
Hmm. So, Netra, earlier in our conversation, you said that like to make a baby nest, you watched a tutorial and you just got on and
Yeah.
completed a baby nest and all of that. So, what were some other courses online? Did you take any online courses around?
No, I did not take any online course. I learned everything on my own.
Hmm.
YouTube was um my teacher, I can say. So, and the other thing is actually my customers itself. They have given me so many challenging products to make because they know how I am approachable. They know I'm capable.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of customers, my customers who tend to come back. The promising customers who are already loyal customers, you can say. They come back with screenshots from somewhere else and say, "Hey Netra, can you do this for me? I know it's a new thing, but see if you can do it." And I have given them that.
Hmm.
So, apart from YouTube is where I have some thoughts in my head and I try to figure out and I've tried to see some tutorials and get inspired. And there are these uh, customers who have come up with some interesting products which they need for themselves, and that has taught me in return. I was able to learn another product.
Hmm.
So there were a lot of them where it was a challenge. There were no tutorials. They just sent me a screenshot, and obviously they cannot disclose the brand that they have taken the screenshot from. So it was a challenge for me to understand. Just look at the picture, get an idea as to how it is done. So I had to ask the customer what are the dimensions they needed. So from then I had to build up a prototype, do it, then show it to them on a video call or something like that, and then see if they really liked it. Then I used to get an approval and then make a product for them and give it. So it worked two ways for me, YouTube as well as my customers who came back with some interesting screenshots which
Hmm.
really upped my skill levels. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, what are your long-term goals for Arista and me?
Uh, my long-term goal is, well, I want to streamline. See, right now I have a lot of products,
Hmm.
handbags, pouches, organizers, for kids, these pencil pouches, um, baby beds and quilted blankets and things like that. But I really want to focus on baby products.
Hmm.
Um, have it have a wider range of products and start having people and get more inventory set up because without inventory right now it's a little bit of a challenge when someone wants to gift because no one has this um, you know plan ahead. They don't plan much ahead for a gift when they want to give somebody. Like they are so busy in their own world, their work and things like that with home. They suddenly, with 3 4 days, they realize, oh, we have to attend some function or a birthday party. I need a gift. They cannot come back to me because I have this limitation of zero inventory.
Hmm.
So I want to build that inventory and also have that facility to my customer that, hey, see, I also have products. You can either get what you want from my list of stock available or you can even get one customized. So I want to have both. So for that, I really need to build an inventory, have people work under me,
Hmm.
have a space. Right now it's still from home,
Hmm.
so I will have to make a space, make it big rather. So for that, I'll have to invest a little more. Slowly, I'm building on that.
Hmm.
So I got an industrial sewing machine. That was my first step.
Hmm.
So now I have someone who stitches. I can outsource it, but it's all temporary. When I have an overload of work,
Hmm.
I outsource it to one person who I have it. Of course, he's trained by me,
Hmm.
but they have uh, another work as well. So it's mainly a short term,
Hmm.
work relationship with them. So going forward, I would rather have someone who's working exclusively for me. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. All right. Also, how does your typical work day look like?
Ah, well, it's a little chaotic. It's not very stringent. It's very flexible. I have a 5-year-old, 5.5-year-old son, so with him in the house and taking care of him, giving lunch, food. So there are a lot of breaks in between,
Mm.
and I cannot sit continuously for 4 hours or 5 hours. There's always these breaks,
Mm.
and typically what I do is I end up working late nights
Oh.
and sleep around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock because I'll have to finish it. So I put my son to sleep by 8:30.
Mm.
Then up to 2 o'clock I have time, and that's when I get that really good amount of time to do my work.
Mm.
So that's how it works for me. Daytime it's a little too, broken.
Mm.
There's a lot of things happening at home with him, and there's household chores basically. So it's a little
Mm.
unbalanced at the moment. So I'll have to balance it with my long-term goals now.
Yes. So, like, do you have any mentors or role models that you look up to, or it's just
I don't have any mentors or role models. What I get inspired is by all the products that I see, the sewing fraternity, what I see on Instagram, right? There are a lot of women who are into this,
mm,
and the creativity that they come out with is just so fantastic. So just by looking at Instagram, looking at different accounts, I get inspired because it's so nice to see so much out there, which is still I'm still yet to learn a lot of things,
mm,
and it's a small part. I mean, like when you take a handbag, there are thousands, lakhs of designs that are available. Materials, there are hundreds of materials available. So what I do is just a fraction, a drop in an ocean. So there's so much more to learn. There are different things. So I just look at Instagram for inspiration, and they are what I look at as my motivation.
mm.
So that's how it works for me.
Okay. So also, Netra, what are some important lessons that you've learned since starting your business?
Okay. Lessons, one is marketing. You need to have a very good marketing strategy,
Mm,
and it has to be consistent, which I have lacked a bit. I need to improvise so much because when you're having a business, your marketing strategy must be tight, must be scheduled, must be rolling out every day something new or consistent. If you're not consistent, and it really hits on your sales.
mm,
So this is something I have learned, and I'm still learning because I'm unable to be a little consistent.
mm,
So, so this was one of my goals. 2023, get more consistent, roll out some marketing strategy, and have it in place so that it works better.
mm,
So you're more efficient, and everything else will just automatically fall into place. You'll be efficient, you'll get sales. If you're getting sales, means your marketing strategy is good. And if it plateaus, it means your marketing strategy needs to be upscaled. You need to upscale it so that you get more sales. If it draws a plateau,
mm,
then what will happen is your customers will know, okay, this is all she can do.
mm,
Okay, and if they want something else, they look out for some other person who's going to give it to them.
yeah,
So we need to improvise on our product skills as well. Improvise, make new products. Just do a different style.
mm,
Do the same design, but just do a mix and match with fabrics, and it will become a whole new product. Only we as makers will know. But when you look at a product, it will look different for them. So there are a lot of very small, small little tweaks and things that we can do in the marketing strategy and try to keep it consistent. It's very, very important.
okay. What is that one product that you've made which just challenged you the most?
Yeah, like I mentioned about the baby bed. So I had this very simple version of a baby nest that I was doing, and this one particular father wanted this baby nest with a lot of features in it. Okay, and he said, I have explored all of the options available online, and he had this picture of an ideal baby nest,
Mm.
and he wanted me to do it. So it was a 1 month interaction with him. He made me add in so many features into the existing baby nest that I create, and it has actually become the number one product right now for me. So I should thank him for me pushing me to
Mm.
make something more out of my already existing product.
Okay.
So
It's
that was
one wherein you added a mosquito net.
yes, yes, a mosquito net, then a flap to cover the tying knots. The knots were exposed,
Mm.
so there was a chance where if the baby is a little older, uh, if it's wiggling, then there were chances the thread can come in contact with the baby's legs. So he wanted a flap to cover the knots so that the knots are, inside and they're not visible. He wanted more neatness, more finesse. Mosquito net was another one. And he wanted another covering to the base of the bed so that, when you're moving the bed from one place to another,
Mm.
even on the floor if you're putting, dust does not sit on it. So he wanted a covering to the base of the baby nest.
Mm.
So such things, these small, small things he made me focus on, make me understand why he wants it,
Mm.
and I gave it to him.
That was
So right now that has become a very most wanted, most popular product right now.
wow.
Yeah.
So, Netra, how have you grown personally after becoming an entrepreneur?
Uh, Personally, um, it's very different right now because the way we look at the world
Mm.
changes. The way we look at ourselves changes because we are standing on our own feet. As women, as homemakers, with a baby, it's not easy.
Mm.
So we feel a little different compared to a 9 to 5 job, I must say, because we are able to manage everything. At least I was able to do a lot of things on my own at my convenient times. So I knew at the end of the day when I used to sleep, I have done some justice to what I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a individual, I can say that there's a lot of confidence in me to face the world because we are looking at a lot of aspects. When we are having this business of our own, our thinking capacity changes, the way we look at the world changes,
Mm.
the way we talk to people changes.
Mm.
You know, uh, so holistically, I have seen a lot of change in myself from the past 1.5 years.
Amazing. Amazing. And also, Netra, how do you deal with this self-doubt and all of that? Sometimes we kind of feel low and then we start doubting our
Frank-
abilities.
Frankly, I have no answer for it yet because I still doubt myself because I am my own critique. I doubt every product I make because for me it has to be perfect. I spend 1 hour extra on my products which I shouldn't be doing because I'm losing that 1 hour, and yet I'm taking the payment for X number of hours that I put into for a particular product, but I end up spending an hour or two more,
Mm.
just to because I have this self doubt and I don't know when I'll get over that. Because when you are making products, when you're selling it, that doubt will be there whether the customer likes it or not.
Mm.
Although I have made 100 of the same thing, in spite of it, I still feel that will this particular customer like it or no?
Mm.
Will this customer come back to me for more? So that self doubt will always be there. Although I have got 99 customers who have told me that the product is great,
Mm.
it's still because it's a new customer. That doubt will still be there. So I again doubt myself whether I've done it correctly or no. Because the product you're making it from scratch again,
Yeah.
right? So it's not. It's for me. It's never mechanical. It's never because I put in a lot of personal time to it. So there's a lot of care that I take to do every single product, even if it is a mask, which is now 100 rupees, I must say. Earlier it was 150. I've reduced the cost. So even if a single mask, I see the fitment, the quality of the fabric, everything, I take a lot of care from the beginning till the end
Hmm.
and ensure that it reaches the customer and call them and ask them if they've got it and how they feel. So until then, this doubt
Hmm.
and the worry of whether the customer likes it or no still will be there. I don't think it will go for me. In a way, it's good because we are always up. We are constantly trying to be good at our work.
Hmm.
So I think that's my motivation.
Great. That's like amazing. And also, Nisa, apart from Instagram, where else have you, put up your products?
Yeah, so apart from Instagram, I have moved into Swiggy. Now, Swiggy has come up with a platform called Swiggy Minis,
Mm-hmm.
which is exclusively for entrepreneurs, small business owners, where they can put their products and it's for free.
Mm-hmm.
Swiggy is not asking for any money for their space that we take. They're only taking a nominal service charges for the service that they are rendering for us, which is 10 rupees or something. It's just a 1 or 2% from your product value, which is very minimal if you see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one platform where I have started to put up my products. And it's for pan India. It's not local. If it's local, we can always use a Swiggy delivery guy to deliver it, or we can even use their courier partners to courier it to anywhere within India. So that's a very nice platform. And another platform is called Fably.com. It's again run by another woman entrepreneur platform where she is collaborating with a lot of women in particular,
Mm-hmm.
and she is handling this website. So I have gotten in touch with her, and I have put up my products there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, I would start looking into Amazon, Flipkart as well,
Yeah.
um, which is a bigger
Mm.
platform. But right now, since I am a one-woman show, I started small with this women entrepreneur website platform to understand e-commerce. Like I said, marketing isn't my strength. Digital platform isn't my strength. So with her, and since I can have direct interaction with her, understand how her website works, how the payment works, it's helping me understand the platform better. So I started there. So going forward, I will look at larger e-commerce business platforms.
Yeah. So even on like Instagram, when you put up your product and then you get an order, you coordinate with the local courier services, right? To ship.
Yes, yes, yes. I coordinate with local courier, or I do it by Indian speed post also.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, whichever works convenient for me or the customer, I avail that particular courier partner.
Okay. And the charges would be even like minimal or like how, I mean, depending on the
Yeah,
quantity of
it's
product or.
it's mainly the packaging depends on the weight and the dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
So from all the courier partners that I have seen, obviously Indian Speed Post is the cheapest. And personally, during COVID time, it was my savior because the Indian Speed Post were constantly working. They were delivering everything. They never shut down. In fact, when there was these COVID hotspots, there were these containment areas, right? I'm talking about 2020.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of these courier partners. They used to close their shops because they could not do it because the government had closed down these areas because of COVID hotspots. So it was very difficult for me to dispatch my product. So I ended up using Indian Speed Post from 2020, from when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And even now I use Speed Post, and they are actually more prompt than some of the other private courier agencies that I have interacted with.
Wow.
unfortunately. So, but yeah, Indian Speed Post was a very helpful platform for me.
Yeah. All right. So finally, what advice would you give to someone who's just planning to start their own business or who have just started?
Yeah, when you want to start a business, I would say you need to have that passion. Passion is the first thing. The passion should come from your heart and mind. You need to be involved completely. When you're involved completely, everything just flows. You know, your ideas, your tactics, your strategies, everything, it will come out automatically.
Mm-hmm.
The passion needs to be there. It should never die down. The moment it starts dying down, you need to look at another field. The other thing I would say is whenever you're looking at platforms, understand those platforms really well. Because with Instagram, what I have observed is the algorithm keeps changing,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a huge hit back on the visibility. Whenever we use these hashtags and all that, sometimes it doesn't reach out to as many people as we expected it to. So Instagram keeps changing its algorithm. Follow some influencers or follow these blogs,
Mm-hmm.
create content creators, and try to understand because they will tell you what's happening within the Instagram algorithm. So you try to understand how it works because Instagram is one platform where I feel you really get to connect with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
For that, you need to create reels. Reels is a must because visibility, when you compare photos and reels, reels has a better reach. So create reels. It took me once half a day to create a 30-second reel first time.
Oh.
It'll take time. Yeah, it'll take a lot of time. But once you get the hang of it, you'll start creating reels in seconds. You need to be that way because Instagram reels works. That is one. So you need to have passion. Your heart and mind needs to be into it, and whichever platform you're using to publicize your products, you need to get the hang of it, understand it in and out completely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very important.
All right. Thanks a lot, Netra. Like you've given so much information. I
Thank you.
I can assure you that our listeners will be like really uh, have so many key takeaways from this conversation. And thank you for your time, Netra.
Thank you so much, Suchitra. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really glad this happened.
Yeah. Thank